Spread the Positive podcast. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, Trent Denson. Got a very special guest with us today. His name is Korey Akers, owner-operator of Crossfit Rampage here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Truly stand-up dude. Participated in his workouts, just believe in what he's doing. He's a good dude. He's out here doing the things Spread the Positive is all about. So I just want to sit down with him, pick his brain on that. So Korey, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So just jumping into it, just give us a little backstory on where you're from, upbringing, how you developed your mindset, just stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So originally born in Michigan, although I don't really consider it home. Nothing against it, but I was just 3 when I moved to Tennessee. So grew up in a small country town in Tennessee, about an hour outside of where we are here, Korey, Tennessee. It was when I was going to school, so we went to a K through 12 school, so from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, you were at the same exact location. And it was when I was in junior high, moving into high school, that I was introduced to fitness and the weight room and working out. And it came through playing basketball, because our school offered very few sports.
Right.
Like there was baseball and basketball. That was it. There wasn't wrestling. There wasn't track. There wasn't football.
Dang, basketball and baseball?
Yeah.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. Now,
okay.
Through high school, they offered football, but it was you played for the team at another school. So, like, we didn't actually have footballs. Anyways, so with basketball, our coach, he was like a big bodybuilder, which, knowing what I know now, like, that doesn't correlate to sports performance whatsoever. But,
Right.
This was, 15 years ago or so. So he didn't know any different. So he had us in the weight room doing bodybuilding workouts, your typical men's fitness type of stuff that you still see today. But regardless, even if it was, correct or incorrect for the sport, that was my first exposure to the weight room.
Right.
My mother has always been interested in fitness, not like a huge fitness buff, but she just goes and works out regularly. So she had a local gym membership. So I didn't even have a car. I couldn't drive yet. I was still 15. And I started going to the gym that she went to. It was just a 24-hour local gym. So from there, I just really started liking the weight room. I actually started liking it more than basketball, simply because I didn't enjoy the coach. And I was by no means a basketball stud. So that led me to just really liking the whole aspect of training and fitness, and what it could do. It was like just a constant challenge. Like, Can I do more? Can I get better? What works with what?
Where do you think you developed that from?
I don't know. I've always been intrigued by stuff like taking things apart, putting things back together, working on little mini projects. So I like the idea of using that same philosophy with your body. Like, what can I do to make what change? Now, if you see me, if you can see the video on this, I'm no large guy. I'm no super muscle-bound meathead. So you might think like, oh, what's this guy talking about? Like, well, yeah, maybe I don't have, a huge physique and a ton of muscle, but it still has always interested me to see, like, what effects different exercises, different exercise protocols will have on the body. And again, I think that's just with our generation as kids, you didn't have, the internet and Instagram and all that stuff. So you were out doing other things.
Yeah, you're playing, man.
Yeah, you're trying to figure things out on your own. Like, you had to, use shovels and build, jumps for your bikes and stuff. Like, you were doing stuff.
100%. Yep.
So I enjoyed always learning new things and doing stuff, and that just led me into the weight room. It was fun. And since there weren't a whole lot of sports or anything going on in our school, I just found myself doing that a whole lot.
Real cool.
So that led to my college degree, wanting to do exercise science, and I'm sure we'll get into the rest, but that was sort of how things got going in the fitness industry.
That's cool. Did you go to MTSU?
Yes, MTSU, all 6 years.
Nice. And what's your official degree, title, all that?
So, Masters of Science, they call it, in exercise science. And then, obviously, the bachelor's was in exercise science as well, so that was all my 6 years there.
6 years and a master's, and that's solid work there, sir.
Thank you.
Good work. Moving on. With the current life, how do you focus, or what's the day-to-day like in Korey's world these days?
Gotcha. So I'll tell you what it's perceived as. It's perceived as I come to the gym and I coach 2 or 3 CrossFit classes a day, and in between time, I just hang out and I work out and I play with my dog and I eat food and I make Facebook posts.
Right.
those things are true to an extent. Yeah, I'm at the gym, so it's perceived I'm hanging out. My dog's here. I do eat throughout the day. But there's so many things with running a business, especially running a business by yourself. Now, I'm not by myself in the sense I do have coaches that help cover the classes, but 99% of the business related stuff is me. I do have one girl that helps with a little bit of stuff on the membership side, helping take care of some paperwork and whatnot, but all of the day-to-day, the decisions, everything is on me. So a regular day is either coach the 6 a.m. class, or my first class I coach isn't till noon. Even if I don't coach till noon, I get here at 11 or sometimes even earlier, because anytime I'm not coaching is potential time that I may be meeting with a one-on-one client, having to write workouts for the gym, for other clients. And then I'm constantly learning how to improve the business.
Right.
Doing a lot this year with trying to improve my relationship and my, I guess, management skills with my employees.
It's big time.
Yeah, and I say employees with, meaning the 5+1 kind of intern coaches we have, and I want it to be more than them just showing up and coaching in class. So there's a lot of behind the scenes spent on how do I make sure they all have the same knowledge and they're all doing the same stuff and they have input.
It's nonstop.
Yeah, it is. It is. I go home usually every night around 7:30 or 8, and I'm not complaining about it. Like, it's not bad.
Right.
Not at all.
And you're passionate about it. You can tell with
Yeah.
your posts, with everything you do. You can just tell you're truly passionate about what you do, and I think that's one of the biggest things with life in general. But something we're trying to, showcase here on Spread the Positive is that having that passion, having that purpose, having that sense of direction is everything. And with that being said, like, even in the difficult stuff, even with the tedious things you might not like as much, dealing with tough customers, all that type of thing, how do you maintain that positive mindset and just deal with that? And
yeah, things do come about, and the first thing I think about is I bring myself back to like where I'm at and what I do for a living, and that I built this myself. And even my worst day here is still great, because I hear so many people that are working jobs and living lifestyles that they hate, they complain about on a daily basis, and it's just nonstop. I want to get out. I wish I could do something else. So even on a bad day, it's like, it's not that bad. I'm doing what I love. And 5 minutes later, it's going to be back to completely normal, and it's fine. I read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Classic.
Yeah, you've read it? Yeah, I suggest anyone listening to this go read it. I forget the author. Do you remember?
Carnegie.
Yeah, Dale Carnegie, right? Okay. So anyways, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And so much in that book stuck out to me that I wasn't currently thinking about at the time. And that's just, when someone else is upset to the point of anger with you about something, it's usually just some form of miscommunication between what you wanted, what they wanted, and how the perception got communicated. So if there is, something that may be perceived as a negative situation or, something bad, I just think, all right, let's just stop for a minute and figure out why both parties might have some disagreement or anger, and get to the root of that, because usually it's just miscommunication.
Yeah. That's easier said than done, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a constant improvement, and I agree with that 100%. As someone that struggles with communication skills at times, like, that's one of my downfalls I'll throw out there. But that's spot on. But moving forward, what's going right? What do you think in the world is going right? Like, in the world of fitness, is everything right now. The obesity's at like the worst of all time, obviously. What are some of the areas where things are working right? Like, I'll go and point out CrossFit Rampage is something that's going right.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing, and the just the culture within this building. Like I said, I participated back in the day, and just I'm familiar with your coaching style, just what you bring to the table. What else do you have in that regard?
What I would definitely say is going right, and we could also say there could be negatives to this, but what is going right is the social media boom. It's continuously on and up. Ever since Facebook started, and then Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and whatever else is going on now. I feel like that is definitely going right, especially if we're related to the fitness industry, because there are so many people providing excellent information, and it's free.
Yeah.
If you follow the right people on Instagram, if you subscribe to the right channels on YouTube, you can learn so much that years ago you would simply have to look up someone in the yellow pages, call them, pay them, and hope that they were good at what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's really good. It helps people, including like this podcast, spread a message across potentially the whole globe if you have listeners there, within a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
So I think that's really going right. Yeah, there could be like a lot of filler and junk and even negative stuff on the internet, but you take someone related to fitness or obesity, they are nervous about coming into a gym. So yeah, they're going to spend a lot of time researching online, finding where to go or what to do. But in the meantime, they might find things that are very useful that they can learn and do by themselves at home just because they found it on someone's Instagram post.
That's a game changer, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely social media is going right. I'm not whatsoever involved in the world of politics, so I can't speak on that. I don't know if anything's going right there or not. That's not me. The landscape of the fitness industry has been changing over the past decade and still continues to change. Not to knock on the world of bodybuilding or bodybuilders, but that is becoming less and less prevalent. And some people nowadays, I find this really impressive, some people's first exposure to fitness now is functional fitness.
It's huge.
Yeah, if you rewind a decade, everyone only knew, the Arnold, the bodybuilding, the muscle and fitness stuff.
Yeah.
And now I find it cool when people are like, no, I've never been in a gym. This is the first gym I've been in. I'm like, wow, the first gym you've ever been in your life is a CrossFit gym. Like, lucky you.
Yeah, for real.
Like, that's great. So that's going really well, that the landscape in fitness is changing for a more healthy performance and health-based lifestyle instead of just a aesthetics and how do I look in the mirror lifestyle.
That's preventative.
Yeah.
It'd be like preventative wellness too,
yeah,
right?
Very much.
I mean, that's something I listened to a podcast the other day with Dr. Steve Maslow. Have you heard of him? He's got.
I don't believe so.
He's man. It was really interesting. You probably really like it. He was talking about he came up as a doctor. His dad was a surgeon. All that. Went into medicine and was just like kind of the black sheep. He was kind of like Patch Adams. Like didn't understand like there's zero preventative wellness being done.
Yeah.
Like, it was way back in the day, and he was saying this, and now his whole life goal was like making preventative wellness a more prevalent thing within the healthcare industry, and he's got obviously miles to go. But like like what you're saying, that's a huge positive, a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool stuff. On a bigger scale, like beyond just you, the gym, your family, friends, why do you think it's important to focus your efforts on not only your vision, what you're trying to do with CrossFit Rampage, but just on a global scale of being optimistic and positive with your day-to-day interactions? Why do you feel that's important?
I actually saw, I'm going to steal a quote. I don't even remember who it was. It was actually an Instagram post. Someone had something that said, most people die, or however it was worded, most people are buried at 75, but they died at 30.
True story.
Right? So you got one life to live, and if you're just sitting and clocking in and clocking out 8 hours later and watching life go by day to day, you're working for the weekend, if you will, that one vacation a year, and spending over 50% of your waking hours. Is our computer still on?
No, we're good.
If you're spending over 50% of your waking hours doing something you hate, and you're sitting around waiting for retirement in 60, when you're less capable, you're less witty and active and just able to do things, like that, in my opinion, is a waste of a life. So pursue something you enjoy doing. And with our day and age, going back to the whole internet and everything, like, you can likely make a job for yourself 100%. That doesn't exist. And
find that passion, man. That's everything.
Enough people aren't doing that. They're just doing what the past generation and the generation before that did, and they didn't have the access to things we have now. Right. So you might as well just go for it. You know, follow your passion and see what happens. Worst case scenario, you try something for 2 or 3 years and it doesn't work, and then you go back to what you were doing. And at least you tried.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you tried.
You have that knowledge that you did put it out there. So yeah, you actually put it out there. You tried it. Along with the spread the positive stuff, we're getting into this branding world that we're not super familiar with. We've had, some experience with it in the past. With your experience with CrossFit Rampage and the brand that you've solidified within this community already, can you speak on that? Like, how did you get into that, and what was the mindset with all that?
Yeah, so I haven't, tried to personally like build a brand per se, but you have to put yourself out there. There's so many people in a sea of things that it's very easy to just hide and read everyone else's, stuff online and just listen to other things. But everyone has their own thoughts and opinions, and maybe someone else wants to listen to those because they agree. Even if you think it's, again, just a thought or an opinion and it doesn't matter, like other people that have those same thoughts, opinions, ideas, they might want to hear someone else talk about it just to understand, like, hey, I'm not the only one. So by posting on the internet, by making YouTube videos, by speaking your mind and not just going along with what everyone else is saying and doing it for long enough. Yeah. I'm not talking 3 months or a year or huge. 2 or 3 years. That's I say huge. Just be who you are and keep doing it, and don't worry if you make some people mad or angry along the way. Like, that's going to happen, right? Like, even the best leaders in the world that have huge followings in whatever capacity that is, they're still going to have people that dislike them.
Haters, man. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I have just always tried to continue to put things out on my personal pages on social media, on our business page, and then be at places. Like, yeah, I'll admit I get stuck here at the business a lot, but if there are other community events, related to my industry, I like being there and having my face there, whether it's as a spectator or in the world of CrossFit as a competitor or helping out in some capacity, coaching someone or judging an event. So the more you're seen in your industry, the more you have to say, the more you interact with what others have to say, the more known you're going to be. Yeah. And it's not that, what we're doing or building a brand or anything, it's not that everything is about a following, but it's nice to know that you have people listening.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah, that's textbook for sure. That was really insightful. I agree 100%. I think some of the keys I took away from that, consistency and patience, especially with the social side of things, and keeping your face out there and your name out there. I think you've done an incredibly good job with CrossFit Rampage. How you've done all that. Like, you're speaking about the new transition with the way people are brought on board. Yeah. Can you speak on that? I think it's really, really insightful.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone listening to this that has ever looked into taking a fitness class probably understands exactly what I'm going to say. And then after I sort of drop the big theme here, or whatever we might call it, you might have a mindset shift. So in the fitness industry, most like group-based class things, whether it be yoga, Pilates, Pure Barre, CrossFit, cycles, whatever, from what I understand, most have a come try a free class. Okay, whether it's on a Saturday morning or it's during the week and you can sign up online or whatever, come try a free class, see how you like it. And the CrossFit industry to a T has just adopted that, and there's no rule that says you have to. Well, I tried it for years. Hey, come try a free Saturday class, and that started becoming a problem because I would write a workout for our regular members that know how to do all of our exercises. I would write a workout that was very, very beginner level because I was anticipating beginner showing up.
I've done that.
And then when week after week we wouldn't have beginner show up, or we would only have 1 or 2, I started realizing the workout that I was writing for the wrong population. I wasn't writing it for the paying members that were showing up on Saturday. It wasn't good enough for them. Right. So I cut that out, and I still started with you can schedule a free workout. So you come in, and I'm going to lead you one-on-one through a free workout. It would take up an hour of my time. You would do a workout that would, for lack of a better term, wreck most people. Right. Even though it was a basic workout, you take someone who has a very, very diminished level of fitness, and you give them a handful of body weight, air squats, push-ups, the rowing machine, and 8 minutes later, they're red. They're a little bit incoherent.
Right.
Their skin's a different color. They're breathing heavy. They're sweating even if the temperature is 40 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm trying to tell them now all the details of how our membership program works, how much it costs, how you sign up, everything.
Like during the workout. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have, they can't comprehend at that
trying to
state.
stay alive.
Yeah. So oftentimes what that would lead to is like, oh, well, I'll just send you an email with the details. Well, let's be real. Someone went through this workout experience, and now I'm sending them an email later.
Like, come back for this.
Yeah. They're like, no way.
Right.
They don't want to read it. They probably just trash it. So I recently started working with an excellent consulting company that is specific to the CrossFit industry, Two Brain Business. And they taught me about what they call the no sweat intro. I've adopted it for probably 2 months now, and it is the biggest game changer of any one business move I've made since starting this in 2011. So what it looks like now is you don't come try a free class, because we all know if you try something brand new, especially with a group of people that already know how to do it,
it's intimidating.
Yeah, you feel very, very out of place.
Yeah.
Like if you've never ever played basketball, and I say, hey, come play this. Yeah, come play a pickup game with me. Like, you're going to have so many questions, but you don't have time to ask because everyone else is going full speed. Mm-hmm. You feel out of place. Like, you feel like you're slowing everyone down. So I don't want people to feel like that. So now what we do is someone can book an appointment online. They don't have to call. They don't have to text or email the gym. They literally see a schedule. There's calendar appointments. They click on one, and then next thing you know, they're getting a reminder email saying, hey, you have an appointment at such and such date at such and such time with our gym address. Here's what you need to know about it. They show up, and that's just going to be about 20 to 30 minutes of me sitting down and chatting with them about what brought you in here. Mm-hmm. Why are you even looking to get into fitness or into CrossFit? How can we help? What is your past like? Mm-hmm. Do you have any limitations? So that whole conversation is about them. Yeah. And then at the end of it, once I've learned a lot about this individual, I can make a recommendation as to, well, this is what we offer and what would be best suited for you. And at that point in time, we've had this conversation. They've I've earned their trust. Mm-hmm. They've built some trust in me. And then I tell them, hey, this is how we can truly help you. Yeah, and it's almost a no-brainer at that time. They didn't have to go through some super hardcore workout to realize the benefits of this. Right. We sort of reversed it.
That's smart.
I think tell them first. Yeah.
So you've already seen like monumental results.
Oh yeah, it's almost a 100% conversion rate when I sit someone down in this room right here and I have a conversation with them about them.
Their goals and what they need out of this. Yeah, that's everything. I bet like not many do that.
No,
very few.
Yeah, and not a lot around here at least. And that's where everyone that's working with this same consulting company, Two Brain, they're learning that. So they're probably adopting that philosophy, and it just makes so much sense. Like you're able to really educate the person on what it is your business does with words and feelings and emotion and a connection, instead of just showing them. Yeah. Like you're not just putting them in a Ferrari and saying like, hey, go around this track as fast as you can. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's been a huge change, and I think more businesses should take that up. What's up, Madison? So anyways, yeah, that's been super helpful for us.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Just that whole approach has to be just so much more comfortable and alleviates all that pressure with the potential client and all that. So that's awesome. Kind of wrapping up things here. One of the questions we like to end with is who is the first person you think of when you think Spread the Positive and the overall mission we're trying to do here?
All right. So fortunately, I was pitched this question beforehand, so I had a little bit of time to think about it. Now, this is not me saying I don't have positive people in my life, because I do. I have a ton of them. I mean, every person that walks into our gym, as a member, as a coach, my fiance, everyone is super positive. But when I read this, I was thinking like someone that is outside of the local realm and I've never met. They're more like global. So spreading the positive, I'm going to say Gary Vaynerchuk. So Gary V.
Slow clap for that one.
Yeah. So yeah, probably hundreds of thousands, millions of followers and fans, along with a lot of haters. People just might not like what he does. If you don't know who he is, just look up Gary V. Anyways, so I think of him because he's preaching to all ages of every walk of life. Doesn't matter where you're from, your upbringing, your current, economic status. Go out and follow your dreams and make it happen and see what happens with it. And don't just like stand back and hide or sit and wait and hope somebody's going to deliver life to you. Like, you got to go do it. And he's preaching that every single day on a vlog, which is amazing. I think, per what he said, he's the first person who's had a professional cameraman follow him around to vlog, because most people have their buddy or their phone on a stick and they're filming themselves. So yeah, what he's doing is amazing.
Yeah, that's a perfect example segue, man. I've been diving in hard to Gary Vee. I listen to anything he has on Spotify every 3 to 4 days, and reading Crushing It right now. Like, that book is awesome. Just everything he stands for, even though he's got a potty mouth and like he's fired up. He might rub you the wrong way.
But and I don't mind it at all.
No, I don't either. It resonates with me. Like, it gets me in gear. So shout out to Gary Vee. Shout out to Crushing It. Helped a lot with this Spread the Positive stuff and just life in general. So that was textbook. Love that. Yes, I could not agree more. Gary Vee for Spread the Positive, 100%. Last thing we got is a thing we call Grateful For. It's 4 things you're most grateful for right now. What you got?
All right, 4 things grateful for. My fiance, Molly Jekyll, so soon, October, to be Korey Akers. Super grateful for her and keeping me together on a daily basis. And I would say next thing, as cheesy as it sounds, my 2 dogs. So
nothing cheesy about that.
At 30, I don't have kids. I do plan to one day. But my 2 dogs, I absolutely love them. I couldn't imagine coming home to a house without animals. And, one sitting here with us right now, being able to bring them to work and just, like, they love everything about you as their owner. So grateful for that. Grateful for my health. I was once told, I think it was by my dad, if you don't have anything, you at least have your health. So if someone took everything from you, from the clothes on your back to your job to everything, like, if you still have your health and you have good health, you can still start from scratch and be fine. Like, if you're able, sound body, mind, and soul, like, your health is everything. So super grateful for that. And then the last thing I'm grateful for is, and this might sound kind of cocky, egotistical, but every single person who has ever had anything to do with my business, those people are the ones who are supporting me, whether they gave me a dime or not. Maybe they just gave me or post a like on Instagram, or maybe they've been a 6-year paying member at my gym. So I'm grateful for anyone who has been in contact with me and my business and my life, all the way back to when I was growing up before business. So those would be my 4 things.
That's solid, man. That's really solid. I actually would just verbatim steal your 4 right there, because I completely, minus Molly, excuse me, minus Molly.
Of course.
The dog, the health, and your spheres, everything, man. That was awesome. Closing quote, what you got for us?
This was from a United States female wrestler in the Olympics, and the quote is, "What's up, Kelly?"
What are you doing?
Scratch the quote. Scratch the quote.
Kelly Searing's in the building.
Okay, so back to the quote. So the quote is, "If you go through life only doing things that are easy, shame on you."
True story.
Period. Like, everything's not going to be easy.
And you got to keep that challenge, keep that focus, keep that positive mindset, keep doing all the things you do for CrossFit Rampage, for the community, for all that. So we just thank you a lot, Korey, for your time, all you do, and for spreading the positive.
Dude, thank you for having me. And, I wish all of the success to you and spread the positive and everything you're doing, and keep this up, man. It's the world of the internet and the podcast and the vlog and social media. So I love that you're doing it.
Might as well have a little positivity, right?
That's good stuff. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So thanks again to Korey for being on the podcast today. Really appreciate his time. Really just believe in what he's doing at CrossFit Rampage. I'm in a networking group with him here in town. And he's just a stand-up guy. He gets things done. He's very efficient, really knows what he's doing, really knowledgeable in a lot of categories. So I appreciate him taking the time to let us in on some of his secrets, how he goes about his day, and just what's important to him with spreading that positivity and being conscious of his energy, and just the things he does that might go unnoticed to a lot, but not here with us at Spread the Positive. So Korey, thanks again for being on the podcast with us today. definitely appreciate everything you shared with us. Definitely some insightful stuff. So yeah, shout out to CrossFit Rampage here in Murfreesboro. If you're looking for a trainer, Korey is your guy. He is top notch and just all around. So yeah, if you're looking to change your lifestyle, get a lot more healthy, Korey's your guy. They got meal plans and all kinds of crazy stuff over there. They can really get you set up right. So thanks again, Korey. As always, definitely looking for people to be on the show, looking for engagements, looking for collaborative efforts, as always. So spreadthepositive.net /podcast to go straight to the podcast. Our website's still super basic, trying to get that geared up some. So keep an eye out for that. Our Instagram, Spread the Positive, Facebook, all that, YouTube, we got it all set up. Just kind of on the minimal scale right now, trying to build this up. So any support, any ideas, any collaborative efforts, we are all ears. So thanks again, and keep spreading the positive. Appreciate it.